What's up guys and welcome to Wicked Pixels. This is part 3 of the Learn to Slay series where I talk you through playing Slay the Spire 2 from the ground up. So far I've looked at the first few choices that you make during the initial encounter with Neo at the start of the game, and we've also talked about how you make decisions around plotting your course through the first dungeon. We've managed to slay the first boss and we've got into the second area. Let's have a look at the next part where we meet an elder and we make some more choices, get ready for the next part of Slay the Spire 2. Alright, so we made it to Act 2, we managed to make it through with 20 health, so sometimes you have got to kind of push yourself, I guess, through the iron needle a little bit. You know you're going to be low on health, and you might need to just struggle through, and if you make it through, then you're in a good position. And at the moment, because we're on low ascension, we're going to get a decent heal here, and we're going to get some more buffs, so this is going to set us up ready for the next floor. Now, this is interesting. We've got a black star, which is going to help us to farm elite, so this is, before you make any considerations for what you're going to pick, have a little look at the map. See how viable that is. Now the black star will give us the option to get 2 relics when we defeat an elite. So once you get the black star, really what you need to be focused on is elite hunting, because we're going to get double relics and we can stack up the relics very quickly and snowball into a really powerful build. However, we need to make sure that there are enough elites for us to actually go after. So looking again, just using the legend, we can see that if we go on the right hand side, we can go 1, 2, 3, 4 elites potentially, which is about as many as we're ever going to get. We could also, in terms of the heals, look, we've got a heal, we've got another heal. We're then going to be hitting an elite, a normal fight, and another elite, so that's quite dangerous. We've then got another normal fight with no heal and another elite, so that's a very dangerous path. If we wanted to go down that route, it's an option. If we take the black star, we could do that. If we go an alternative route, we can probably hit 2. Yeah, we can hit 2 down the left, down the middle, and then down the left we're only going to hit 2 as well. So is it worth taking that if we're only going to hit 2 elites? I'm not 100% sure. It could be. Again, there's no wrong answers here. The other good option, at the end of your turn you no longer discard your hand. That's really useful for certain builds. I think for ours, not so much. We're looking at basically playing out our powers and then just playing as many cards as we can in the turn, and hopefully we play the cards that damage our health first so that our attacks do more damage, and as I said before, Stampede is just doing most of our damage at the end of the turn. So we're not too, I don't think we're too synergistic with Runic Pyramid. It would work really well with some block builds, because you might not need to block for that turn, so you're going to hold on to your big block cards for the turn where the boss has gone Super Saiyan. So not a great card for not a great relic for us at the moment. The other one is Empty Cage. Remove 2 cards from your deck. So looking at our deck, it is quite bloated. We could do with getting rid of that injury. That's going to be huge. So it's a toss up between these two. It really depends on what you're feeling like. We are running a pretty strong build at the moment. Going into this act, we've already got some nice relics. We could potentially go do the elite hunting route. I'm just not sure if that's a great idea when our build is focused on taking our own health off and we've not got a load of heals. So we could go down the middle. Certainly here we're going to get an easy fight, a nice heal or an upgrade, another reasonably doable fight because we've got the heal here. But then this is where it starts getting a bit hairy. If we go into this fight and we're low, we've got a normal fight to get through and then another elite. We're looking at, it's going to be survival mode. This is what I did in the last round and I've only just scraped through. So I think being sensible about it, that's probably not a good option. So I think what we're probably going to do on this occasion is we're going to take the remove 2 cards and we're going to take out the injury and we're going to look to get rid of one of our normal blocks. So we're going to go a little bit more aggressive. Alright, let's see how this goes. Now looking again at the legend, let's just have another look. We've got 289 gold, so we've got quite a lot of gold to spend. So we do need to hit a merchant fairly soon. As ever, there's always a merchant within the first few nodes, and then there should be one later on just before we hit the end. So again, the second merchant is, the third merchant is down the bottom on the left-hand side. So if we did do the elite hunting route, we also wouldn't be spending any gold. So again, that's for me another reason not to go that way. Treasure chests are always in the middle. They're always in the same place, so you don't need to worry about these. And then we're just looking at, in terms of our cards that we've got here, we've got no upgrades so far. If you're not sure about upgrades, it's always worth just clicking on the card, and if you click on view upgrades, it will tell you what the impact is. So for Pyre, you get an extra 2 mana 2 energy, and that for me is all you need. You're not going to need more than 5 a turn, so this pretty much sorts our energy out. This is a really good power. It's definitely worth taking in most instances. We've got things like Iron Wave, which I know it's a grey card, but actually doing 7 block, that 7 damage, scalable with our strength, and the 7 block is a really nice chunk of block to have while you're trying to go aggressive. So this is a really good card to upgrade. Let's have a look at Rupture. So these are our powers. This is going to give us 2 strength instead of 1. That's huge. That's going to make the fight go even quicker. Stampede upgrade is going to be a change to the cost, so this makes this much more playable within the round. So that for me is a priority. We've also got the Blood Walls being one of our best block cards. That's going to upgrade to 20 block, which is a decent chunk of block. And then we've got the AoE attack doing 13 damage, which will scale as well with our strength. So all good options. Let's just have a look at the brand as well. So this is going to gain us 2 strength. So if we get the brand and the Rupture upgraded, we're going to be hitting essentially 4 strength every time we use a brand, which is going to be absolutely huge. And once we get those astronomical amounts of strength, our attacks are just going to be melting bosses. So I think for me, priority is Stampede, followed by Rupture, and followed by brand. So we need a couple of a couple of rest sites so that we can get those upgrades on. So let's see, if we're going to go down the left hand side, we're going to use the merchant to remove some cards. We're going to be hitting a rest node on either side of here. We've got another one here, another one here. So we're going to be hitting 3 upgrades potentially if we go down this area here. So yeah, I think at this point it's kind of a toss up between these 2 tracks. We've got the merchant early on in both. We've got an event which is going to be helpful for hopefully getting some more gold. We've got our rest sites, of which we're going to hit 3. If we need any heals, we probably won't because we're not hitting too many elites down here. And then we just need to make sure we are actually going to hit some elites on the way through and get some more relics as well. So if we go either way, we're going to hit one of these. I think we avoid this one. We take these one of these routes. We take the elite fight, and then we've got a heal option. And then we can make a decision about, do we want to go for another relic or do we want to go to shop and spend all our gear. Let's just see how the next shop goes and see if we've got any gold left. Alright, so we kind of went according to plan to some degree. We went down the left hand side, we managed to clear, we didn't get much from the first shop. We got a little bit lucky on some of the events. I think we hit a relic, a happy flower. We got to the, we got the upgraded here, Stampede was upgraded. We then took on a normal fight, but because we were quite low on health at this point, we opted instead, because we didn't go for the heal here, we went for the Stampede as a priority. We got here, we were quite low on health, so I didn't really fancy taking on the elite over here. So we ended up going around the elite. We picked up a Gorge, which gives us some plating, so that helps us our survivability a little bit. We then had a fight against some mobs here, and then we got a bone tea from a chest, I believe, on this one. So the bone tea was basically just upgrading our hand for the next fight. Now this sort of served my decision making a little bit. So because we got that, and we knew that at the next fight that we were going to take, we had a suite of upgraded cards in our hand. When we got to this, we healed because we were low on health, and we opted, instead of going to the shop to spend our 185 gold, we went to the elite on the left hand side, knowing that we had a couple of potions to spare, we had some new relics to help us, and we had a fully suite of upgraded cards, assuming this didn't end up being a normal battle, which it didn't. So we got to the Entomancer, the bee guy, and we ended up using a potion, and we absolutely smashed through him pretty quickly. Got to the bit just before the boss, managed to get a good heal in, so we're now kind of looking pretty good. We did have to deviate a little bit, and this is how you've got to be with your decision making as you go through your run. So maybe just think about being flexible with your route, because things happen. The events, for example, you get drops in like the bounty, where it's going to basically set you on a different path. So the upgrade there being for the next fight, it gave us a perfect opportunity to go and take on an elite with slightly low health, but knowing that we've got upgraded cards and we could potentially smash through that and get a nice relic, which we did. We got bronze scales. So 3 thorns doesn't seem like a big deal, but actually for the third map there's going to be lots of enemies that do multiple attacks, and taking 3 damage from each of those is going to be really useful. So especially those battles where you're swarmed by groups of enemies, thorns can be really, really powerful, especially if we find the block card, the flame wall, that gives us extra thorns as well. So we managed to get to the rest site, we managed to get a heal in, and now we're ready to take on the boss. So let's see how this one goes. Okay, so we're getting going with this one. Pi is going to drop in straight away. That's awesome. It means we're going to have lots of mana to spend, energy, sorry. So we're going to brand, and I think we're going to get rid of our normal strike because that cuts out one of our weaker attacks. We're going to draw a card, just a cycle through our deck. Ooh, that's a bit of a, that's unfortunate. We're going to take an energy just so we can get Stampede played out. Now we've got a choice of taking 6 damage a turn or taking drawing 1 fewer card each turn. We're going to go for the 1 fewer card because we know our health pool is going to get whittled down by our own attacks here, so we don't really want to be taking that extra 6 damage. We're going to, shall we? I think we're going to hold on to the brand. We could scale our strength up a little bit now, but I think we're going to play a little bit more defensive because we need to get all the other powers online that are going to benefit from our health being depleted before. Okay. So we want Rupture online, absolutely. So this boss does hit quite hard. Again, we've got Inferno. Now we should start hitting the boss and scaling up very, very quickly. But we are getting hit quite hard here. Not too worried at the moment. So I'll play this build. Obviously, I'm going to give myself the strength bonus, and then I'm going to start hitting with all my other abilities. We should be scaling up pretty fast now, so these attacks are going to start doing a lot of damage. We're quite low, so again, I'm going to avoid disintegration. Playing 3 cards each turn isn't a massive deal for us because we've got that Stampede online, so we can play an extra attack. So we just need to focus on defensive cards. We've got double brand. I think we don't really need that one. And we're going to take a big hit here, unfortunately. So 30 damage incoming. We're going to have to blood wall. We're going to have to right, so this would be the 3rd attack. Definitely need the block. So things are getting a little bit hairy now. 13 damage isn't too big a deal. I'm going to take 12 block. I think we need to scale up the strength quickly or we're going to lose the fight. So we're just going to go all in. Take a small amount of damage. And we just need to keep an eye on our health now. So we can only play 3 a turn, remember. I'm going to have to just go for the... Oh, no, mistake. Should have scaled myself first. We should be good. It's only 56 damage. If we go for the 1 less energy, we're absolutely fine. And that should be it. Alright, a little bit close there. Okay, so we've got the choice of another pyre. It's not going to be just not useful. We've already got enough mana. Barricade's an interesting card. That's going to work with a block build. It's one that once we popped off the power, it's going to stop block being removed at the end of the turn, so we can build up block really, really quickly. However, this is more of a kind of, we're trying to front load our damage as quickly as we can by scaling our strength. We do generate some good block, but I wouldn't say enough to kind of keep us alive. And also playing a free cost card early is going to really stand in the way of getting our engine going. So I don't think this is a great card for this particular build at the moment. It's a really good build in a lot of really good card in a lot of different decks, but not this one so much. And then we've got aggression. At the start of your turn, put a random attack from your discard pile into your hand and upgrade it. It's one of them where like we're going to have quite a lot of upgraded cards anyway because we've got the relic that gives us free upgrades. We are now starting to whittle our deck down. We're at 18. We should hopefully be down to about 15, hopefully halfway through the next floor. It's an interesting idea. It's a one to think about. I'm not too sure. I don't think that's a great pick for us. I think we run the risk of having to get too many cards online once we grab that one. So we've already got to get Pyre online, Stampede, Rupture and Inferno, which is quite a lot of cards. We need to really get those all going to make our build really pop off. So I think just adding another card into the mix there slows us down. And I think speed is of the essence with this deck. So we don't want to be in the fight too long or we're going to take off too much of our own health. So I think we leave the card rewards on this occasion. Alright guys, that's going to do it for part 3 of Learn to Slay. Hopefully this has been helpful. We managed to just about get through the second floor. It's been quite hairy killing that second boss. We just need to get ourselves prepared, get our deck a little bit tighter and upgraded. Hopefully whittle out some of those rubbish cards, maybe get some nice relics and get ready for the final boss. So stay tuned for the next part coming up very soon, and please do drop us a like and subscribe to support the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys.